for that. For the... We are live. It is the virtual Radio Row edition of Levack and Goz. It's a Tech East Tuesday. We're live here at Tech East Fire and Water Restoration. We took over the back room because, well, it's a special show, so you need a special locale. Super Bowl 56 is getting ever so close.
This is
creeping
good.
up.
Yeah, Levack, this is pretty cool for us. We got on the visual side here an awesome background. Shout out to Jamie for taking care of us there. You and I are in a different setting. It's a different spot here in the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Studios.
This is where I hide during the day when I don't want to do other things.
It is?
Yeah, this is basically the VIP lounge.
Ooh.
So you just kind of come back here and hide. Mike Quarta, the owner of Tech East and the owner of the Empire, followed me back here today and made me do work, kind of, bastardized my inner sanctum, which is his. I mean, he owns it, but it was uncalled for. If I'm being perfectly honest, it was uncalled for. It was kind of rude of Mike to expect me to work during my work day.
How dare he?
Yeah. I didn't come here for this. A lot of people know I'm just a podcaster, not a team president, not a director of media relations, just a podcaster. That's all I am.
I have to give you so much more than that, Levack. I think today's show is going to prove that because we got everything. This is usually statistically like one of these slower weeks in sports that build up to the Super Bowl, especially earlier in the week. That is not the case. We've got some awesome stories coming up. If you've ever wondered what's it like to watch Goz squirm and get nervous and watch his shoulders get up during Radio Row,
isn't that like every day?
Now you've got a camera to watch.
I don't feel like anybody went like I can't imagine Goz being uncomfortable.
This is the worst. Okay. We've done Radio Row both in person and now virtual. I've never had more guests reschedule ever. In the first 48 hours of this, I'm up to 7 guests that have rescheduled. Right now, we have 2 that are going to join us live on this show. And if things go wrong,
actually 3.
3, thank you. 3.
Yeah. 2 at once.
Shows you how my schedule's going.
A menage a quatre, I believe the French would call it.
Just watch me if anything goes wrong during those interviews. So there's your entertainment for this show.
But see, even so on Radio Row, I used to get freaked out because anybody who used to listen to the actual radio show, it's bedlam. It's a flustercluck, and it can be a lot. Please stop that. But the beauty of it is when you realize that the more you get messed up, the more the evil people that we have become like just friends with by listening to the shows enjoy it. So sometimes it's nice to just let it all just fall apart and realize you can only control what you can control. And that was there. That was when like companies like the wonderful Bud Light were sending us to cover these things. Now we're just set up in one of my offices. Like what's the worst that can happen? And I challenge it to do it because I've I've already given myself literally the crappiest week ever. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because historically speaking, this is the week after the Super Bowl, which would mean that we would be kind of winding down. Like I would actually try to get a day or 2 off snuck in, Nah. So yesterday, full disclosure. You guys want to know? I'll tell you. You don't want to know?
I do.
I'll tell you. Got a colonoscopy yesterday. Yeah. Tomorrow, get my gums open up so I can get my fake toofy, so I can have a full mouth of teeth finally for the first time in almost a year. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on. What are you going to do? I've already had a camera up my butt, and some dude's going to cut my gums open tomorrow. Let's go. Let's Mike Myers or Jason Voorhees jump through that John Slow Supply logo behind us. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I feel good about the world.
Who's really been the toughest this week? Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, or Levack talking about his colonoscopy
That's right.
at the top of the show.
That's right. I'll give you the details. I'll give them to you. I don't care. I wasn't awake, but it was very nice, very, very gentle, very loving. There was a flower next to me when I woke up. Call me next to it.
That's not true.
Yeah. Instacam. Colonoscopy suck. If they're sucking during that, there's something wrong. No, it was. They got that stuff down to a literal science now. Like you wake up, And it's like, hey, how was everything? And it's like, oh, you were great. And they just touch your lips and say, and they still have the gloves on. And, shh.
I was going to say nothing gets past them. It got all the holes covered, but
yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. It's damn true. No, so it's been a week for me. Like I said, you're worried about guest rescheduling. I'm just, waiting for some biopsies to come back. Whatever. I ain't scared.
One thing that has changed in comparison to past Super Bowls because of the effects of California and COVID is that
I don't have to get drunk to fly.
Traditionally, the Monday would be opening night. So you'd see a lot of the players walking around, interacting with the media, everything else. The travel schedule was a little different this year for the teams. Now, LA had a pep rally at Thousand Oaks. The Bengals had a pep rally in Paul Brown Stadium. Now, someone would say travel, it doesn't matter for LA because they're playing in their home stadium. So, does any of this early week stuff factor in? I guess I'm going to answer my own question first. I don't think any of it has a factor because both these teams haven't been there in so long in the LA situation. None of this early week stuff, probably in comparison to past Super Bowls, has any factor in the game, it seems to me.
I bet there's members of the Rams team that are looking at everybody and going, oh, this is a dream. Like a couple years back, we had to fly into Atlanta. We had to go, deal with Nickelodeon. JB Smooth was being annoying, not just in friggin' gambling app commercials. He was annoying in person. Those jackasses from Albany were trying to corner us. Levack used his offensive lineman joke for the 75th time. Like, you guys huddled up. You getting ready to break the huddle so I can ask a question? I got him again. Those guys are probably looking at this week going, this is beautiful. This is as close to a regular game as we're ever going to get going into the Super Bowl. So it is going to be intriguing to see how it plays out. 2 years in a row, home team at the Super Bowl. 2 years in a row. It ain't run like normal. It's weird. I guess, where's the next one?
Glenville, Arizona spot.
Well, so we won't see the home team in that one. That'll be safe. There ain't no way that's happening. That's not going to be there.
I got some stories involving the Cardinals and Giants later on in the show for sure. We don't even know who's going to be playing quarterback potentially for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy that story more than you know, and I'll tease forward that we have Joe Mantegna and Ronnie Marmot who are going to join us in about 40 so minutes from now. 10 minutes from now probably is more accurate. For some reason I thought it was 4:00. I went back in time. In my defense, the last 2 days, bit of a blur, just anyone who's had to deal with that, the cleansing and then the photo shoot, you're there.
Yeah.
I do have to tell one quick story about it. So the intake nurse, so anybody who's had a procedure done, like they go through this whole process, right? Where they make sure it's you, they got to do the IV, they got to ask you, are you allergic to it? All these things, right? So first things first, this younger woman walks into the waiting room and they go, you can overhear it. I need your ID and your insurance card. And the lady goes, why do you need my ID? And the fourth woman can answer, this girl, got to be mid-20s, goes, are there a lot of people sneaking in for colonoscopies nowadays? Because they can have mine. And I'm like, I need that person to become my friend because that's funny. That's the question we all should be asking while they're validating who we are for the 50th time. And then I get called in right before she comes to our shot because I was literally going to go over and go, great line. I might use that. I get in there. It's the intake nurse first time doing it. So it's all questions. You know what I mean? She's not the one who's doing any procedures or anything. So I'm trying, I'm nervous because I don't like needles. She's nervous because she doesn't want to screw anything up. So I finally get to the point, I go, listen, I've been through this a couple, 2-3 times. Let me help you through this. I'm not allergic to this. I smoke cigars. I don't inhale. I do drink, probably more than you want to say, but let's just say occasionally on the weekends. And I go through the whole thing, and she's like, why do you know all the answers to these? I'm like, hey, I've had a couple procedures. I've had a couple, 2-3 things go. I've been through this more than you have. Let's just call it that. And it was such a weird thing though, because lady went, how are you doing? I'm like, yeah, oh, you're not asking me. You're worried about her. Is she going to have a camera stuffed up her ass later? Is that, are we both in this? Okay, no. But it was just funny because it was her first, and she was and it was her first time doing it. As I'm leaving, she looks up to me and I'm like, I'm still kind of groggy. And I'm like, everything go all right for you? She's like, aren't I supposed to ask you that? I go, you look more nervous than I did. So I went with that.
I say, you know what? As well as you put her at ease, Levack, I'm still caught up in the girl from previous.
Oh my
The
God,
girl
how
in her
great was
20s,
that?
Does she want to host a podcast? What does
Dude,
she look like? Is she single? I have so many questions about her.
She had a mask on. I didn't want to be creepy and like whatever, but I did hear her yell out she was a realtor at some point. So maybe she knows Cindy Martin. Maybe Cindy knows her. But yeah, just like the fact that she did it, she did it loud enough that she knew everyone would hear it. Like it wasn't like a quiet, like little, hey, are people seeing? No, it was like, I gotta ask you a question. And like looks around, sets the stage.
I already said my name was Karen, by the way.
Yes. Why you need my birthday for the 15th time is someone else looking to have their camera stuffed up their butt in my place. And if so, have at it.
She turned into the marvelous Miss Maisel halfway through.
She did. She did.
That was her, actually.
She's like,
before we're joined by her two Super Bowl.
She went full Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect. You see, they don't even want to take a picture of my colon. They want someone else. You see. Oh, that's fantastic.
Before we get into our Radio Row guest, which is going to be fun because they're just going to pop up on the screen at any point. Like while I'm talking or you're talking, they can just pop up right here.
Don't I have to let them in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Jared Lowe's here, our friend at Northeastern Insurance. Jared joined us at our most recent show at Hooters this past weekend.
Whether we liked it or not.
If you want to go back and listen to that, now's your time to save some cash. 2022.
He kept saying things about China. It was weird.
No, that was cute. Save some cash, especially with some people with the tax season coming up. You're going to look at your finances from 2021 and say, ooh, should I have spent that much here or there? Have someone shop the market prices for you to save some money this year. Quote, if you're looking for it, here's the email, JAREDL@nemail.com. Trust me, especially with tax season now going on, you want to look at it and find out where you can save some cash for next year. Insurance, those things are important to you in your life, your car, your home, and everything, those valuables for you. Quote today, JAREDL@nemail.com, or give our pal Jared a call at 518-956-3753. Get your phone out, save it in your phone, text him, call him. Hey, Levack and Goz said you can save me some money. I like money. 518-956-3753. Our pal Jared Lozier at Northeastern Insurance. There's a chance, by the way, those guys might be named the best insurance agency here in the Capital Region with the votes now have gone to the finalists. We'll find out on February 21st. I'm rooting for a certain two people to make the finalists cut for best local broadcast.
I will say, as much as I like to bust on Jared, he does know his stuff. So he when it comes to insurance, he knows his stuff. Everywhere else, I question him. But it's like he's like a savant. You know,
it's savant.
Savant. Heavy on the idiot, but savant. Idiot savant is what he just knows. He just knows insurance. Important tequila shots. Those are his two. That's his wheelhouse, if you will. All right, Super Bowl 56. Have you seen anything as of this moment that would change your initial belief on how this game was going to go?
A little bit. CJ Husmanzada. I want to call him TJ Husmanzada. I don't even know if I said his name right.
Yeah, no, Uzama.
Uzama, thank you. I had so many Bengal skill guys caught in my head with initials. You almost could like see it going off, right? Like some type of machine.
I was like, what did TJ Husmanzada have to say? What did former Bengal Super Bowl?
Just so I don't have that same slip up in my mind somewhere. We'll call him CJ. Went to the pep rally and was injured in the previous playoff game and ripped off the knee brace like he was Vince McMahon. I'm not even injured. The neck brace was fake. This leg brace was fake. So according to reports now, the tight end for the Bengals will be played in the Super Bowl. I don't know if he just got so fired up at the pep rally and the doctor told him, what are you doing? But that, I feel like, is a storyline here early in the week that Joe Burrow has another target on offense. Again, medically, we'll find out if it's actually true. But that was kind of a cool moment that the tight end actually might be out there to play.
Yeah, I mean, you want the teams as good as they could possibly be, but realistically speaking, what is he at? What is he at? A quarter of a point? Half a point to you? What is he?
He is.
If you were going to take, let's say you're going to take the Bengals at 4, but it's 4.5. Does he change that to where you go, okay, I'll lay, or 3.5. I'm willing to take less points.
Here's how I think of it. He's more of a first down guy. Like if you need a 3rd and 6 and you're looking for somebody, I know the backup tight end actually played pretty well, but if you're looking like for a 3rd and 6 and he moves the change, that's probably something that's going to help the Bengals. I get your point. Is he going to be the game deciding player? Are we going to look back at Super Bowl 56 and be like, oh my God, I know Jamar Chase was their biggest target, but how about the tight end play? Probably not. If anything, you're probably going to pull up DraftKings and be like, all right, maybe I'll first touchdown scorer, anytime scorer. Maybe that's something to flirt with a little bit.
I'm pretty, I know you like to wait and make your official pick and all that stuff. I mean, But since I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl before the year started,
it's no secret here.
Yeah, I mean, why? Why would? Oh, but you know what? All of a sudden, TJ Uzama is back in. So or CJ, who? Damn it! Now you got me.
I told you.
It's your fault. I wouldn't have done it before. Big old you. He's back at TE. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this whole thing away and go and just double up on the Bengals and hope to mitigate my losses. I still think the Rams, both teams, 100%. The Rams should do this. The problem becomes, as you've seen from this Rams team, they don't necessarily throw the knockout punch all that often. They're more of a body blow you to death, and then they're almost like what was it the Steelers back in the Bill Cowher Steelers? They would get a 10-point lead, double-digit lead, and they would just ride it out. They would just ride it out. If they won by 1, great. If they won by 10, great. But they would just ride it out. They wouldn't. They wouldn't actually try to put teams away. It's just, at least it didn't feel that way. So that's kind of what I feel with this Rams team sometimes, is they're not a put you away kind of team. But I do feel like this number factors into people believing in the Bengals maybe more than they should. I think the Bengals are the freshmen that gets into the senior party and are really, really cool early, but you just know they're puking at some point. Like what they learned this year is going to be extremely valuable the next 3 years, but they're puking at some point. They're doing it because, Biff and Stifler have got them in a corner rocking back shots of tequila, and they're, oh my God, it's so cool that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are here.
It tastes so good.
Yeah,
I can just be a lightweight.
I drink the solid sauce. This is no problem. And the next thing you know, it's 11 o'clock. Everybody's starting to have a really good time, and Joey Burrow and the Bengals are yuking in the corner, and everybody's making fun of them because they're freshmen. They don't belong here yet. They ain't ready. That's just the impression that I get from it. I could still change my mind between now, and our last show of the week. But at this point, I really feel like, as good as the Bengals are, as good of a story as they are, they ain't ready. They're lucky. I think they benefit more than anybody that this is not a normal Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
Well, because they can kind of hide behind it's just business as usual, because they don't have the dude from Nickelodeon Double Dare sliming them on media night.
Yeah.
They don't have a chick in a wedding dress trying to interview them. Joe Burrow's not getting cornered by Boomer Esiason, and every other person who's ever worn a Bengals uniform before. Like Ickey Woods is not cornering Joe Burrow going, come on, do the Ickey shuffle with me. Like it's as close to a normal game as possible. So it's not as freaky to them. Like a lot of these Rams played in the Super Bowl a couple years back in Atlanta. So they would know a little bit. They can lean on that. These guys, I think the fact that you're doing everything virtually, the fact that it is a very different world, they're probably a little better off. They're probably it takes away some of the advantage of the Bengals. Did you send the right link to them? Okay, I just want to make sure. You have a tendency in the past,
Our guy, by the way, just take a little inside baseball right now. So this guy we're working with, our agent, is our absolute favorite guy. We love this guy. Ivan is our guy.
Would it be funny if I said a different name?
I 100% sent it to Ivan. This is 100% the right link. I will double send it right now. I will email him and be like, just circling back here. But yes,
we are supposed to have Joe Mantegna and Ronnie Marmot join us in a little bit. I mean, Mantegna is a freaking legend. Marmot's been in more stuff than you realize. Like he's in that Tenet movie. He did a little stint on Criminal Minds with Mantegna back I think like 18 or whatever, 2018. But like, I always like getting the guys on the show who aren't the athletes, because we get the athletes periodically all year long. Joe Mantegna wasn't lining up to come on Levack and Goz. It just was. Oh, speak of the proverbial devil. It is. I see them now. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's just bring them in. We are now joined. I see Joe Mantegna. Are you on Radio Row in LA?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you got it. I'm here in Super Bowl world here.
Look, I see Ronnie's in too. Hold on, we're adding Ronnie to the stream too. Ronnie Marmot is going to join us. I think he's in there. He's still figuring out the camera at this point, I think. So Joe, first things first, man. Gigantic fan, obviously. Love everything you're in. Especially Hannah Montana. I thought that was one of your things you ever did.
Excellent. The things you do, the things you do for your daughters,
How is Super Bowl land treating you this year?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, if it's not going to be the Bears in the Super Bowl, at least the Rams are in it, so I guess that'll be good.
Absolutely. How far off do you feel like your Bears are?
Oh God! You're talking to a guy who's a Cub fan, so I thought they were off by about 107 years, and then they finally made it the 108th year. So I guess I can't feel too bad about the Bears. At least I saw them win a Super Bowl in '85. So we'll see what happens.
We were saying before we connected, you've got this look, and no matter what you're in, you are an intimidating guy. Like, even if you're in something, I feel like you get that on the street when people walk by. Do you have that intimidation factor with people?
No, I don't know. I think it's just the roles. You play Joey Zaza and Fat Tony. They all think you're about to shoot him in the back or something. But, I mean, I'm a sweetheart. Come on.
Just when you said that, it scared me a little bit. Like there might be a little pee happening right now. We're gonna add in your cohort, if you will, right now. We are joined also by Ronnie Marmot. Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
Good guys. How you doing?
Good. I see Ivan in the background. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Joe, how is Radio Row treating you? How are you enjoying yourself?
This is good. Yeah, this is kind of a unique experience. I've used the press junkets, but not looking at giant posters of football players all around me. But it's great.
It's awesome. Yeah.
All right. So you guys are. Joe, you're a Chicago Bears fan. Ronnie, are you a football fan? What's your team?
Yeah, I'm a huge Steeler fan, even though I grew up in New Jersey, which is crazy. I like the Giants, but I'm a huge Steeler fan. So.
Very cool. So, all right, I gotta do this because it's hysterical that you guys end up on the show. Goz is the one who books you, but I have been saying ever since basically, the wardrobe malfunction that we needed a new Lenny Bruce. We needed somebody to come out and just find the appropriate way and almost be like a martyr for comedy and entertainment to get us back to not taking it so seriously and allow us to be ourselves. Now here you guys are, and you're doing the I am not a comedian, the Lenny Bruce story. This has been going on for a while, the show. Joe, you direct. Ronnie, you're starring in it. What made you attracted to the Lenny Bruce just saga?
Well, I did another play about 17 years ago where I played Lenny. And, I'm a little young for Lenny, but I knew who he was. But then when I did the show, I fell in love with this guy. I realized, wow, we have so much in common, first of all, but how important he was to comedy, to society, to all kinds of issues. And so after a couple of runs in this show, I decided I wanted to write my own because I felt like it's an oxymoron, but I felt like it was a safe version of Lenny Bruce. And we should not be doing a safe version of Lenny Bruce. So I wrote my own. And to give you an idea of the play, the lights come up and I'm dead naked on the toilet and the show doesn't let up. Literally. So it's cool. It's great. And I'm just lucky I get to do it. And I think Lenny's voice now more than ever is needed,
Joe, what made you want to direct this thing?
I'm a believer of the saying, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. And so when Ronnie came to me with this material and showed me what he had in mind and doing a play about Lenny Bruce, I thought the writing was great. And I thought, here's a chance to put a guy naked on a toilet to start the play.
I said, Joe, if you want to see me naked, just ask. Like, you don't have to do it in the play. It's like, Joe had a bright idea. He was probably laying in bed one night going, how do I get him naked?
Well, because that was the part of the thing. When he did the reading for me of the material he had, he says, I said, well, how did he die? He says, well, he died. They found him naked on the toilet. And, of course, I started my career doing the play Hair in 1969. And I thought to myself, well, geez, I was naked on stage for about a year and a half. I says, I think this kid, he'll be able to take it. I said, what do you think about it? He'll start you on the toilet naked, take it from there. And it seemed to have worked out.
I don't know.
Joe, his little sick fascination. He's so full of it.
I don't know how the timing works out, but you're both on Criminal Minds at the same time at one point. Is that like when this comes to pass? Like, how's the conversation?
No. That was a total coincidence, I got to say, because Ronnie came in to audition for an episode. I'd already been on the show maybe 10 years at that point. And the director, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even say I knew the guy. But the director of that episode saw his audition and thought, this is the guy to play the role. And I was just so happy to hear that because I knew, because the casting director had seen him do the Lenny play. And it was the casting director who came to me and said, I want to have this guy on the show. I said, absolutely. Have him audition for something you think he might be right for. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it was cool, yeah.
Yeah, you guys, you mentioned Criminal Minds for a second there. It's like a whole fan base that we see years past that go back and maybe watch it. Same thing with Lenny here, that I think for you guys, one of the most fascinating things is going to be what the crowd's going to be like. I feel like, Levack, you mentioned this about comedy, that this younger crowd is going to watch Lenny and learn about Lenny and be like, this is like nothing we're used to anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's been fun to watch this process. because we've been doing it. We'll be open. June will be 5 years. We've been running. Did a huge run in L.A., Chicago, and New York. We're still running in Chicago, but it's been interesting to watch. You know, first of all, the old timers come who love Lenny, and so they feel like they're going to see their favorite rock concert. I do his bits; they get excited. You know, but then the younger generation, it's interesting. There's a lot of great conversations come as a result of the show. I always say, like, come with an open mind and understand that, you know, there are other thoughts beyond your own. And it's been cool in that way. There have been a few people who've walked out of the show as well. Not everybody has an open mind, but that's fun
But
too.
it's great when the young people come to, and then even my youngest daughter, who's like 31 years old, she came up to me after seeing the play and said all she wanted to do was run home and Google Lenny Bruce to learn more about him. And I think that's what it's doing. It's spurring people's interest, as the younger people, as to who was this guy and why was he so influential.
Could either one of you guys, I mean, we've got Joe Mantegna with us, and we've got Ronnie Marmot with us as well. And the show is I'm Not a Comedian, I'm Lenny Bruce. Could either of you kind of channel Lenny Bruce and tell us what he would think of this Super Bowl matchup, any of that? I know it's not exactly his wheelhouse, but just to have Eminem and everything and the Rams and the Bengals, I just imagine Lenny Bruce would say something pretty entertaining about it.
Oh, that's funny visual, the Rams and the Bengals. Yeah, I think he would he'd probably say, let's I don't know. Let's go smoke a doob and eat some snacks and what would he say, Joe?
I don't know. You got a tiger and you got a sheep with a horn. You know, I don't know. You find something in there.
That's very funny. It's very funny.
What's the rest of the week look like for you guys out in California? You guys doing more hits? Are you guys going to do some filming? Like 2022, when you're out there in California, maybe you've got some other projects on the way as well coming out there on the West Coast.
Joe's working on
Well, I'm on a series now called As We Speak, which is on Amazon Prime right now, which is a wonderful show, I think, created by Jason Kingdoms, who did Parenthood and Friday Night Lights. It's about three young adults on the autism spectrum, and my oldest daughter has autism, so it's something that's very personal for me, and so I'm very happy about that. And I'm just happy to be in California, where it's supposed to be 80 for the rest of the week. Being from Chicago, that's a big plus in itself.
Yeah, it's true. And I just shot a TV pilot in New Jersey, and listen, when the work comes in, you take it, but my real focus is on making sure we tour this show so everyone gets to see it, you know.
All right, so we're in upstate New York, and it's definitely something I'd like to check out. How does it move? Is there a way I can help move it up this way? I mean, is it something? Would you be interested in playing the Palace? I mean, like, these are the kind of things I need to know.
Absolutely.
No, we're taking it on tour. We open up and we tell them the Florida dates.
Listen, I did a movie. We're opening next week in West Palm, and then we're going to Tampa, and then we'll be in Chicago all along. But I would like to come up. So yeah, we would love to talk to you about that. But I did a movie in Utica. I was in Utica for a month. So if I could sit in Utica for a month, I could do anything.
Yeah, you definitely want to wait a couple more weeks. It's butt crack cold up here right now.
We got good beer though, Utica Club.
No offense, but it wasn't the most exciting month of my life. I have to be honest.
Here's what there's not much to do in Utica besides eat. We will find you some good Italian restaurants in Utica. I'm telling you, there's some hidden gems.
I ate at all of them.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah,
That's all I did was eat there. That's it.
We're trying to get these guys up here, guys, not over in Utica.
Fine,
No. We would love to come up and play in your area. I mean, it'd be excellent. So yeah, we'll definitely connect on it. You know, let you know what's happening.
Either one of you guys want to make a prediction of the big game, or?
I hope it's a good game. That's all. I'm leaning toward the Rams because I've lived here a long time and I like this Cooper Cup. He's the kind of guy. If I was 10 years old, he's the kind of guy I'd want to follow him. But this guy, I love the quarterback of the Bengals as well, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, as a Steeler fan, I don't want the Bengals to win, but they're pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie, that kid's got some juice. You know, I have a feeling the Rams might play tight. And the Bengals may just run away with it somehow.
Listen. I got a sizable amount going on the Rams, so I'm hoping Joe's a little more right.
Okay, so I'm gonna root for the Rams for you.
There we go. All right.
There we go. All right.
And if it's enough, I'll hop on when you guys get here.
You got it, man.
I can be bought and sold. I'm cheap. I've been in radio a long time. Gentlemen, I love both your work. Love everything you guys do, and it's phenomenal. We appreciate you taking time, and best of luck. And I hate saying this to other man, but I look forward to seeing you naked on the toilet.
There you
Listen,
go.
you and
You'll
Joe
love it.
both.
You'll
Listen,
love
whatever
it.
you do, whatever
Right.
you do when you come, don't sit all the way house right because apparently the mystery is really
You may
over
not.
if you sit
You
all
may
the way.
not sleep well for a couple nights after, but it'll be all right.
We'll make sure they turn up the heat in the theater that time.
There you go.
It's freezing in there, exactly.
Right. Sure.
Gentlemen, safe travels. Tell Ivan we said hi. We appreciate you. There
Thank you.
Ivan, say hi.
Two amazing guys. Bye, guys. Have a good
Is
one.
Ivan naked?
There's Ivan. There's Ivan.
Ivan, are you
See-
naked?
Don't. Ivan will.
Ivan's going to be naked in a few minutes. That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
Thank you.
Uh,
Sorry, guys.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Coach Joe Mantegna, Ronnie Marmot. It's gonna. I'm very interested in that. I've always said ever since everybody got super tight, we need a guy like Lenny Bruce who just doesn't care what happens to him, and to be the champion of comedy. And I hate to say this right now. It's Shane Gillis. He's the guy who doesn't care what happens because he's already been canceled. He's back. He's not the legend that Lenny Bruce was. Lenny Bruce was like a politician, a comedian, a speaker, all these things. We'll see what happens, but that was cool. Good job, guys.
Thank you. I have to admit, I got to go back and check out some Lenny Bruce stuff. Like Joe mentioned his daughter Googling. I think that's one of the coolest compliments you can give a movie, an artist, is if you didn't know a lot about the topic and then you wanted to learn all about it. That's when I know I love something. I think I'm going to do that with Lenny, especially those guys being a part of it. Just want to add one other thing. If you enjoyed that interview, we're going to have all these interviews posted across the board here on Gozilla Media. And don't forget our schedule for the rest of the week. Mohawk Chevrolet tomorrow, Mohawk Honda on Thursday. All the Super Bowl.
You're Mohawk Chevy tomorrow. I'm not going to be there.
That's right. Noon the Towards
the
Wings.
winging contest. I can't
right.
mess with this temple that I'm building.
If you're enjoying the coverage,
Or I'm going to
here,
have a wide open gum, and I just don't feel like eating hot sauce is the right way to go.
That's right. Virtual Radio Row support our partners like the Mohawk family. They always go out of their way to please you. Mohawk Chevrolet, great deals going on. A monster dealership. Looks like it's outer space. You're going to get taken care of at Mohawk Chevrolet. And then on Thursday, Levack and I, 4 to 5:30. More interviews on the way. That's your time to get your vehicle. My guy Cam McKenna was hitting me up today about all the great things that are coming for my new Pilot that's on the way. Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevy, proud sponsors of our Radio Row coverage where they always go out of their way to please you.
All right. So Levack and Goz live here. It's a Tech East Tuesday. We're live at Tech East. And of course, make sure that you comment on this video on the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page. Comment, like the page. You have a chance to win a pair of Flex tickets. Any one of the 6 home games. We're announcing the promotional schedule. I want to do Monday. I want to do Monday for that because I really want to do it right. Basically, each game is going to have something special for you. So we're going to announce that. But the Flex tickets will be available to somebody. Plus, now reopen. Our friends at the Hideaway are ponying up a $100 gift card this week. So make sure you comment on Tech East Fire and Water Restoration's Facebook page on the video right here. Make sure you like the page, and you can have your chance to score those as well. Last week, Timothy Hepp won tickets to the Empire for this same game. It's Field of Love, February. Great work from our girl Jamie, who handled all of that. And, great with Goz, just because I haven't had to do anything with it, and that's all I really ask. I see this, and I'm curious how this pans out. Levack and Goz, Deflategate was fake? ? How are we coming up with it? I mean, mind you, I heard it was fake when it was happening. How is it fake? How am I supposed to explain to anybody that Deflategate didn't happen?
This is one of these classic stories. Depending on where you're reading the headlines from, you're getting different reports of what happened. I just, for the sake of this, let's do the Boston side of what's being published. I'll just give you the Boston Herald headline. NFL covered up Deflategate facts and misinformation, according to the news story. According to the stories that are out there, this is the clearest version I can give you. Back when Deflategate happened, 11 of the 12 balls were deflated in that AFC title game between the Patriots and the Colts. Bob Kravitz, who broke that story, we've interviewed him a bunch of times.
Oh, my God. You want to be a guy who can't go to Boston ever again.
Yeah. That story was out there. Then there was, according again to reports coming from the New England area, that throughout that season, and in particular the Patriots, before every game, they were, quote, measuring the footballs. But the facts of what the measurements were of the footballs was never logged. Oh, yeah, we're checking them. All right, what's the number? We didn't save that info. Yeah, you're just checking them. This is the perfect time to go like this, by the way, and check large, round things. Anyways, but
hopefully you're watching and listening. Don't forget, you can get us at Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcast. I buy mine from a guy named Slick Joey who sells them under his trench coat on the corner of 5th and Main.
Where it gets more confusing is the reports of Deflategate and what happened is that Boston people, Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, is saying that the reason Chris Mortensen broke the story is because of his source. Now, this is bizarre that he gave someone else's source, and it's Troy Vincent. Now, for those who aren't familiar with Troy Vincent, of course, used to play for the Eagles.
Yes.
And then now they're saying because Troy Vincent is an executive in the NFL, he had an 0-7 career record against New England. He was bounced out of the playoffs, the Super Bowl. He actually had a vendetta against New England, and he would do everything possible to take them down and end the dynasty. Levack, hearing some of these details that maybe Deflategate's misinformation has been floated, do you feel like it's been a conspiracy against the Patriots? Do you feel like it's always been you were there for, I believe you were covering that Deflategate Super Bowl 49 when you were first out in Arizona, when that was the talk of the entire Super Bowl.
Well, all right. So two things that I think are important to remember while you try to make this fake, right? DeQuell Jackson, the linebacker for the Colts, intercepted the football, said it felt squishy like a beach ball. Okay, that's something that is a little underinflated. I don't want to hear about the ideal gas law when a football feels like a beach ball. I do also think it's important to note that, do I feel like it was enough of an advantage passing wise that the dynasty is truly tainted? I don't. I think they would still win the majority of the games they won. They probably win all the Super Bowls, whatever. The evidence that I find the most damning against anyone who thinks it was fake is actually a running back. It's been Jarvis Greenhouse. It's the law firm. The law firm played for the Patriots from 2008 to 2011. Guys, during that time, he carried the ball many times, okay? I mean, we're talking 74, 26, 229, 181 carries, right? How many fumbles do you think he had during that 4-year span?
I have a feeling the number is going to be less. I'm going to go with 1.
How about 0? How about 0 fumbles? Then his following 2 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals, 3-2, 5 fumbles in 2 seasons after 4 years without a single fumble. Do me a favor, realistically speaking, take a football, fully inflate it, hold it like you would if you're a running back, and let your friend punch at it. Okay? Maybe it's out, maybe it's not. Now deflate the football a good 2 to 3 pounds of air. Do the same thing. It ain't going nowhere. It's squished in there tight. It 100% happened. I will go out and say that I bet almost every team goobered up their footballs at least a little bit. Did the Patriots cheat better than everybody else? Yes. Are we pissed off because they got away with it? Yes. Do I think it's fake? No. I don't think it's fake at all. I think it really happened. And I think once we all figured it out, everybody got ticked off. Spygate was real. Deflategate was real. They're probably doing something else. But the amount of teams cheating is ridiculous. Patriots just better at it than everybody else, which is annoying.
The Deflategate situation, too. Like, if it was a close game, and I know the ESPN special just came out this past Sunday about the tuck rule with Woodson and Brady. If it's a situation like that, the importance of what that was, I can understand. But that game, if you remember, that Colts-Patriot game is a 4-touchdown difference. Most people probably didn't watch the second half of that game because on Fox's opposite side was the debut of Conor McGregor on American television.
I still think more people watched.
Oh, yeah, the AFC title game for sure. But because it was a blowout, it was over. I can't tell you that a football would have prevented Andrew Luck and that team to get to the Super Bowl. That's hard for me to believe. The part you're talking about, do I think other teams have done this in the past because the Patriots have had the past of that? Sure. Did somebody likely, hell, it could be Troy Vincent, tip Bob Kravitz to get, hey, go in their locker room and look at the footballs. Go measure. I don't know what went on there.
Right.
Now, there's other reports, and I want to be careful with this. There are some reports coming out that the text messages have finally leaked between Tom Brady and Jastrzemski and the other ball boy, who I'm blanking on his name. I want to say it's McNulty, but I'm not sure if that's actually it.
Just Bird Jastrzemski.
Yes.
And the other one, I can't think of the other one.
I want to be careful on reading those because this is the internet and it's 2022. And I also pause on that because, and you and I have talked about this a bunch. It's fun to rehash it now. What the hell happened to those guys? Where did they go?
They're in the same island with the Spygate guys and the Deflategate guys and Santa Claus, and that's where your elves on the shelf go when it's not Christmas season.
Where?
Never to be seen again.
Never.
China. They're in China.
Did they just get a huge payout from Kraft and Brady? And
yeah.
Just hide away.
Just go.
Millions of bucks. Never talk. That's why I don't believe these texts are real. I don't even care. I don't care what Mike Flores. I don't believe it. I think these guys have disappeared forever, so I'm not even going to read those. Go find them on the internet. If you believe they're real, fine. I don't buy it.
I bet you I bet you the number's not even as big as you think it is. I bet you they signed an ironclad non-disclosure agreement for like $500,000. Just think about it. If I put a check for $500,000 in front of you right now, or a briefcase of $500,000, you'd stop talking about whatever I told you to stop talking about.
Okay, do you think the 500,000? Probably. I probably would.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if the 500,000 is a big enough offer for like Netflix or Apple TV to say, hey, that's 500,000. I'll give you $3 million to do a 5-part special.
No, remember, you've got to, I'm going to have to forfeit that money. They're going to sue my pants off. And I'm going to lose because I should not have, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, and it's not like I'm, changing the way banks do business. It's not like I'm some major drug company is hiding the cure to cancer. It's a stupid football game that nobody really wants the information out for anyway. You're going to lose that lawsuit. So it's probably 50 million plus. It's whatever it costs to make it, plus the pay for me, plus the pay for my legal fees. It's probably a huge number to get him to do it. Not to mention, you can never go to Dunkin' Donuts again. You can never buy a pack of Mar breads. You can't go to Sully's bar. You can't do any of it. You're done. It's over. Right now, you're a hero. You can go wherever you want.
Some New England fans are probably yelling at me and say, "Goz, you left out the biggest part of this story."
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest part of the Patriot fans will scream conspiracy is this part. That according to this report by Mike Florio, is that the NFL's general counsel, Jeff Pash, was issued a, quote, direct order asking the league to delete some 2015 numbers. So in other words, hey, maybe the Patriots were cheating. Maybe other teams were cheating. Maybe they weren't cheating. Let's not leave that in the report, right? Like, let's just get in there with the red pen. Okay, Boston fan, fine. I will give you the report that you're probably more cut up on of the league going in and being allowed to change the numbers how they want. Okay, that's not a good look. That's not. I got you. But the Deflategate, I feel like it's a whole separate topic. Like Deflategate's here, and being a horrible person's another thing. Those are two different topics. So fine, if you want to put the clown thing back on Goodell, you can.
The best part of Deflategate was every corner of the bar Patriots fan that you've talked to for however many years, and the smartest thing they've ever said is like hitting on the bartender. Hey, C's get degrees, and they're talking about their boobs, who all of a sudden is well versed in the ideal gas law. Tommy, let me tell you something about the ideal gas law. See, because it's cold, you're going to lose some of that gas. Some of that is going to, like, all of a sudden they got the whole thing. Tommy, ideal gas law, Tommy. Like, all of a sudden, like, Bill Nye the Science Guy has taken over their brain. And yeah, they got the Patriots winter hat on in the middle of August inside the bar with a Bud Red in their hand. It was still already got the Marb Red in the other hand. They're about to go outside and smoke, but they stopped to get to preach to you how the ideal gas law would have affected those footballs based on the cold. Like, that was my favorite part of it. That's like if you needed to get like if somebody went up to me during that time frame and I'm sitting at the bar and they went, in the year 2019, everyone is going to become viral doctor experts. They're going to understand everything about it, both sides. Trust me. I'd be like, no way. And all of a sudden, let me tell you about the ideal gas law. I'd be like, you know what? You probably are telling the truth. Because think about all the people you know now who know everything about viruses.
Look, I did my research over the doctors. Who has a doctorate? I got the internet.
Dr. Meme and Dr. Giff said that you should be able to do whatever you want without a mask. If you're vaccinated, why can't you jump into a volcano, guys?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'll say this. I'm on Facebook. I don't have a lot of friends that have doctor ahead of their name. So think about that. I got
Dr.
Facebook.
Dirty, Dr. Mean, Dr. Death, Dr. McGillicuddy. He's my favorite. Love him. It's just like the one thing is I talk about things that I think I know, but I always say I think. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a fat guy. I know how to get fat. You want an expertise on that? I got you.
You know how to sleep
I'll learn.
well?
Yeah, I do. I do know how to sleep well. Look at that. The Integrative Sleep Center in Walson Spa. My good friend, Dr. Fred Dreer, 518-885-6185, 518-885-6185. Help me sleep better. They'll help you sleep better too. I had the weirdest couple nights sleep because of everything I had to do for like medical reasons. So last night I get everything. I take a shower. I washed all my bedding. Mind you, I'm zooted out of my head on anesthesia still. So I was like in a great place. But I was like, my mouthpiece, I'm going to sleep the sleep of the angels. And that's what I did. My mouthpiece was in, woke up. I went to bed at 9:30 last night, woke up at 5:30 this morning, just like it was like something out of a cartoon. I was like, I spread my arms out, like big yawn, and like the cat came through with the newspaper, and the dog brought me my slippers.
Bird flew on the
yeah, the bird, and then
la, la, la,
yeah,
la, la,
and then the dog tried to eat the bird. It was crazy. No, and again, it was just I knew because my mouthpiece, I was going to get that good sleep. Keeps my airway open. Again, during the entry thing, they're like, oh, it says here you have sleep apnea. I'm like, I do have sleep apnea. Do you have a CPAP? I'm like, no, I have a mouthpiece. And the lady looks at me, a mouthpiece? I go, yeah, I went to the Integrative Sleep Center. I talked to Dr. Fred Dreer. A little mouthpiece keeps my bottom jaw forward just a little bit, keeps my airway open. And then the doctor looks over and he goes, science checks out. I'm like, look at me. Look what I know.
Dr. Boy.
Yeah, right. I got a large soft palate, you know? And so she's like, did you bring it? I go, no. She goes, you didn't bring it. I go, why would I bring it? She goes, well, we're going to put you under. Wouldn't you want that in? I'm like, I have now learned something. I should bring my mouthpiece with me because it's that easy. Maybe I use it, maybe I don't. Clean, easy to travel with. Could be that much better for me in the future. 518-885-6185. If you're not sleeping well, if you're snoring, if you just go to the integrativesleepcenter.com, there's a quick questionnaire. You can see how far you want to go with this. Everybody I know is making a call. Everybody I know is thrilled. You're going to love it. Dr. Fred Dreer, the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa, help me sleep better. They're going to help you sleep better too. Goz feels like there's something weird about former Buccaneers coach Lovie Smith. Is it his cool beard? His beard is legit. That's a commitment, that beard.
It is. The beard's amazing. It's just a mountain man. He didn't have that in Tampa. He grew that out of Illinois when he was coaching back in college. I'm a Buccaneer fan, so I know about Lovie Smith.
You can't have that beard in the Florida heat. No, you have to wait till Illinois for that.
Gotta get shaved up.
Yeah.
All right. So let's break down what happened here from when we most recently spoke. There were two openings: the Saints and the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Allen, as you predicted, Levack, and you wanted Dennis Allen, a former Raider coach, is now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He gets promoted within the organization. He gets that opportunity.
Good for him.
Lovie Smith came out of nowhere.
He did.
For this job.
Right.
Nobody was reporting this. Nobody had Lovie Smith in contention for this. Now, I went back and checked.
You know what happened.
Oh, yeah. We're both going to, I think we're both going to agree on this, right?
Yeah.
So to give Lovie Smith credit, I went back and checked his record. He was way better with Chicago than I realized. He helped the Bears get to a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman was his quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, that defense was really, historically good of comparison to the last 20 years of defenses. Really good. 5 of the last 6 seasons as a coach of Chicago, he did not make the playoffs. But remember, he also got to another NFC title game. That's that weird game with Jay Cutler where he was hurt, but he wasn't really hurt. But we thought he tore his ACL, but he slightly tore his MCL, but might have been able to play.
All of a sudden, we're like, maybe he doesn't care that much about football.
Yeah, that weird NFC title game. So he might have been able to get to a second Super Bowl at Chicago. He had a really good record with the Bears. He got fired really fast in Tampa because he wasn't good. And his record at Illinois is horrendous. Probably just didn't want to recruit teenagers. But I'm going to let you go first with your theory. If I agree, because I have a feeling we're on the same thinking process here.
I think Lovie Smith 100% deserved another shot of being a head coach in the NFL. That being said, I think Houston 100% wanted to take a shot on Josh McCown, who is an inexperienced. I think he coached a high school team for like a week, but I think they wanted to put him in the job. Happens to be opaque. He's not just white, he's white. It's one thing to take a shot on a white quarterback when everybody's pushing for racial equality and more people of color in the coaching job. It's another thing to do it in a year where Brian Flores is suing the league. So I think somebody with brains was probably sitting there going all along, like, guys, you sure we want to go with McCown? Lovie Smith's really good and he's available. We should at least talk to him. And then all this happened. Somebody went, I guess we'll go with Lovie Smith. I feel like that's what happened. I really feel like that's what happened.
I feel for Lovie Smith because no matter what his record is, he can be 5-12 and make sure that 17th game there.
Yeah.
He could be 5-12. He could be 8-9.
He could be 12-5.
And people are going to say, the reason why I got, which is
right. Brian Flores said it.
Yes.
Well, his lawyer said it. Brian Flores' lawyer.
You know what? Let's go with that. Say what Flores' lawyer said for those who haven't.
I'm paraphrasing, but he said, though we're happy for Lovie, this is just proof that the only reason I didn't get the job is because I'm suing the league. That's so good job, Lovie. Happy for you.
Hey,
There it is.
hey, I know
All right.
you're my friend and all, but we all know I should have got the job.
Right.
That's like somebody you work with saying like, hey, I know you had a lot of success, but don't forget it's it's
I had
because
the-
of me.
I didn't have this exact thing happen to me, but something similar. So like way back in like my early radio days, this woman gets fired from the company. And she got fired because she was hired to do a certain job, but she envisioned herself as on-air talent. So they let her play around on air, but the job, she had a main job that she was not paying attention to because she was doing the other stuff. So she gets let go. She calls me that night and says, "Did you hear what happened to me?" I'm like, "No, I have no idea. You all right? What's going on?" She's like, "I was let go." And I go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you had a plan?" And she goes, "I'm not calling because of that. I'm calling to warn you because it was cost cutting and I'm assuming you're next." So basically, what she was saying to me is her skill level was so much higher than mine that if she was going to be let go, I had to be next.
Oh my God.
And the fact of the matter was, the job she wanted to do, I don't know if she could have done it or not. She never tried. She wanted my job. And you know me, I joke about this stuff, but I was light years beyond her in entertaining on a microphone, light years beyond her. And I was just like, "Oh, thanks. I think I don't. And then I called my boss at the time, the big boss, and I go, "What? No, none of that's true. That's not the conversation was had with her. None of the things. We literally told her we wished her luck on finding the job she really wanted, but like she tried to like make it about. So that's kind of what Flores is doing. Like, listen, I'm better at this than you are, but since I kind of took myself out of this by suing the bosses." Congratulations.
Never in the history. I truly believe this. You can let us know, social media, YouTube, wherever. I truly believe this. Never in the history of recorded sound, music, visual has ever a time existed in the world that if you believe something and it has no slight possibility of being true, you can find somebody to agree with you.
Oh yeah.
Like now in the past, like
and you can also go and be like, the sky's blue, and you can find 60 people online like, no.
Like, look, I get it in the past. Like everybody's the same, right? You go back to your family, you go to your closest friends, you talk about work, you talk about school, whatever is important to you, and you want those people to be on your side. And sometimes they're too much on your side. Like, you're right. Like, one of the great examples is like youth sports, right? You should be the best player on the team. Who cares if you're the slowest? I'm not legal advice. Go back and watch the Get Up interview. Why is he doing it? And like we've seen so many of these athletes' lawyer interviews where what happens is lawyer would step in if they didn't like the question. Not the lawyer gives a 3-minute promotion of themselves. So you're telling me somebody with legal advice thought, here's a great thing to do. We want fellow black coaches to be on our side. We want them to join a class action lawsuit. Here's what we do. Let's insult the one who just got hired. Let's say we're better than him. What type of legal people are thinking that's a great move? We got it. Here's what it is, right? Brian Flores found some people. He found somebody, I believe he's from the area of Mike Tyson's front. I'm forgetting it right now. It's a New York City area.
Catskills.
Yeah, Catskills. There's another one.
And okay, here he is. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this lately. There's something. It could be my computer. I think all the times of me picking on you for having bad tech is coming back to bite me in the hind section. I really do.
Well, we both agreed. If you missed it, we both agreed. We feel bad for Lovie Smith.
I do feel bad for Lovie Smith.
We feel like
I feel worse from these in Houston. There's something like, all right, so like Al Davis hires Art Shell. Art Shell turns out to be a very, very good head football coach. Pittsburgh, the Rooneys, they go out on a limb. They bring in Mike Tomlin, who had been a defensive coordinator for 1 year, and it worked out great for them. There's something about some of these guys not being smart enough to hire the best coach because his color that they should have to suffer through. They should. Like, I agree that the people of color, people, minorities, they deserve a better chance to get these jobs. And I think the best way is to work them up through systems. But there's something we said for these ignorant Peckerwoods to keep losing and suck because they can't get out of their own way because of race. There's something about that I love. I do love it. I want it to happen more and more often. But, such is life, I suppose. We're going to be joined by Matt Burke in just a little bit. This is the story. I think you and I are going to feel very differently about this.
Ooh, before you say it, Levack, I want to give one quick shout out, though, to our newest sponsor.
Ooh.
Lily and David Fine Jewelers. If you're watching on our visual side, top right corner, I'm so happy to have our friends from Lily and David Fine Jewelers back with us. The new store location, Levack, you got to check it out at the Shops of Wilton, Saratoga Springs, a new location, Lily and David Fine Jewelers.
Do they still have the old location or they moved?
They moved, completely moved. If you're watching right here, the wedding ring right there, the band, the ring, the engagement, all that stuff has happened thanks to the great people at Lily and David Fine Jewelers.
She actually said yes because of them.
That's right.
There was a good chance you would have blown that without their help.
If you missed that story, I'm so happy to share it here on the podcast side. The engagement, the wedding, all that stuff happened. Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Less than a week to go for Valentine's Day. If you want to support people, family-owned and operated businesses, it is worth the drive to Wilton. Visit them. Say hello. They got great deals going on for Valentine's Day right now. Gifts starting as low as $25. And how about this? That unique gift, that 24-karat gold-dipped rose right there at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. So that's a spot for you guys. If you have not shopped for Valentine's Day yet, this is your location. Proud partners with us here on Levack and Goz and Gozilla Media. It is Lily and David Fine Jewelers. They've done it for me. Engagement ring, the perfect gift for her. Now you know where to go this Valentine's Day. Lily and David Fine Jewelers, located at their new spot at the Shops of Wilton.
Levack and Goz, it's the Tech East Tuesday, live from the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Studios, live on the Tech East Facebook page, as well as Gozilla YouTube, Goz's Twitter for some reason, all in there. And we're thrilled to be able to cover the big game, the Super Bowl, if you will, even though we're not there. We, director of media and for media relations for Tech East Fire and Water Restoration, I can take over a room. President of the Albany Empire. I'm more of a podcaster. All right. So Kyler Murray, you said to the Giants. What makes you think he would be the Giants quarterback? Okay. Because that's not what I've heard.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So for those who don't know the context of this story, Kyler Murray, this is only
young guys.
Young 18-year-old guys.
You don't have a neck. Like, it's just your head straight down to your shoulder. It's like one straight.
Right.
There's no in for your neck.
Glad I started growing a beard. Kyler Murray has deleted all Arizona-themed social media posts. Older listeners are like, huh? Got rid of his Twitter? No, like anything involving the Cardinals has now been removed, which people assume means he wants out of Arizona. I'm looking across New York markets. I'm looking across quarterback markets. Why wouldn't the Giants be a match? They have the trade capital for him. It's a bigger market. Maybe he wants to make more money. I'm looking across the NFL. I don't know who else would be a perfect spot if Kyler Murray really wants out of Arizona. For what reason, I don't understand. But if he really doesn't like the organization, why wouldn't it be the Giants? And that's a huge splash for the new GM, Mr. Shane.
I want to block the fat picture of me that's behind me. She got like the least flattering to put up behind us.
I just had no chin.
So there's a team that fits better.
Ooh.
Maybe they just had the GOAT of all quarterbacks retire on them. He's going to Tampa, baby. He is going to go. A little Texas A&M love between him and Mike Evans. Need a quarterback. Bruce Arians probably thinking to himself, I can have some fun with this little guy running around going crazy. This would be good. I'm going to run the football a bunch anyway. This is perfect offense for him. Kyler Murray, your favorite quarterback coming out of the draft, all 6'8" of them, is going to be the next quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I don't think so, Levack. I have to stall because I believe this is an agent live on the air. Hang on.
There you go. Go ahead. You do that. We'll kind of eavesdrop a little bit. I just think it makes so much sense.
Hey,
Kyler
Matt,
Murray,
I'm going to text you the link. Okay?
short little guy, but he's gonna be big plays.
Yep.
It's gonna be so much fun to watch this come together because Goz has been angry with this kid forever, mainly because of the fact that he doesn't think he's telling the truth about how tall he is. All right, Riley Rossi, go look at where he started his career. Riley, he started at Texas A&M. He transfers to Oklahoma. Go check it out. You'll see. Go check it out. I appreciate you trying to fact check me, but go look.
That's right. He transferred. That's
he went to A&M and then he transferred to Oklahoma.
They had 3 quarterbacks, by the way, that year, all transfer. Outrageous. That's why Kevin Sublin actually lost his job. That was Matt Burke, by the way.
Oh, Matt Burke calling you up on the phone, hitting you on the digits.
Yeah, yippee right there. So there we go. I just texted him. His number did not pop up as Matt Burke, which confused the hell out of me. So, no. Here's the thing, Kyler Murray. Is he good? Better than I thought. Is he small? I believe he's shrinking every season. I like to actually judge him. I believe he's 5'5".
Osteoporosis.
Does he work for Tampa? I don't want him to, Levack. No. Tom Brady was a drop back quarterback, find the receivers and make it work. They don't need Kyler Murray. They can go to the draft. They can get Baker. They can get somebody. I don't know. No.
That's what I'm hearing. That's the scuttlebutt, if you will, that you could have a little Kyler Murray in your life there. You go from Jameis to Brady to Kyler. Come on, that'd be great. Why does Kyler? Okay, you need a quarterback, right?
Yes, I get that.
Right.
Is Kyler Murray better than everybody else in the draft? Yeah. Is he as cheap? Probably not, because he's going to become a free agent, and you have to decide: does Arizona not think they're going to give him the money? Does he think Cliff Kingsbury is moved? All maybe questions for us for the future.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, but right now we get a chance to talk to one of the great minds in football, Mr. Matt Burke. Hey, how are you? It's been a long time since we had a chance to see you. We appreciate you making time for us.
Yeah, of course, man. Good to be with you.
So we're doing a little virtual radio row this year. I see you've jumped on the train with us. Our reasoning was it's cheaper this way.
Well, cheaper, and listen, man, I don't know. I mean, either California is your thing or it isn't. It's not really my thing. So I prefer Minnesota in February to LA.
I think that's a short list of people saying that.
Got to make myself feel better.
They're frozen clothes. No. So taking a look at this game, I don't think anybody saw the Bengals being here. When you take a first blush at this thing, do the Bengals have a legitimate shot?
Well, I think they got a legitimate shot. Yeah, I mean, they've kind of shocked the world. I mean, at least the last 2 rounds. I mean, maybe even longer than that. Great story, and certainly kind of all those franchises out there that have been muddled in mediocrity for years. This gives them hope, right? Like, all we need to do is draft that quarterback, and it's all going to come together. Now, it's been a lot more complicated than that, but you go from 4 wins one year to the Super Bowl. I mean, I've been picking against the Bengals the entire playoffs. Can they do it one more time? I guess they can. If they do, then all that moxie that Joe Burrow has is definitely warranted, because he's as good as he says he is.
Yeah. And Matt, you played up front, even though you've lost weight, and now you can hang out with your shirt off and look good and everything else. As we have to say, the dark side for guys like us. But here's a question. Maybe somebody will ever figure out: how in the world do you slow down Aaron Donald? How?
Boy, I mean, I've been asked that before, and I'm glad I never had to play against him. But, I mean, this is going to sound simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but you just have to really, really be sound in your technique. And I think a lot of guys, you see the power, and, as an offensive lineman, that's always the first thing you need to account for. But what Aaron Donald does a great job of is, more so than running guys over, is you'll see he takes half of a guy, and then he'll use his speed and quickness and hands to get by him that way, versus just running straight down the middle of a guy. So I think when you're worried about a guy's power, you tend to not square him up, nose to nose. You kind of get on an edge, and that's what Aaron Donald wants. You really have to take him down the middle and rely on your technique and shoot your hands, and then hold on for dear life, because the guy's an absolute animal.
Even though you didn't have to go against him in your career, is there somebody from your past playing career that when you watch Donald, he's like, oh man, that reminds me when I used to go up against this guy?
Well, a little bit. My first 2 years in the league, I was a backup, and I had to go against Johnny Randall every day in practice. And as miserable as that was, and it put me into a mild depression for 2 years because I never blocked Johnny. That's kind of what it's like. It's the total package. It's the speed, it's the power, and it's the motor. And, he's just kind of like, like you're not going to block Aaron Donald or John Randall for 5 seconds. You're hoping you can do it for 3. You're hoping that the way that you call protections is, that the protection is sliding to help out the guard who's ever assigned to Aaron Donald. But I think, Aaron Donald is just a bigger, faster, stronger version of John Randall, which sounds a little bit scary.
All right, Matt Burke with us right now, Levack and Goz. And did John Randall known like one of the great trash talkers, barkers in the history of the game. Did he trash talk in practice too? Like, did he have set stuff for you ready to go?
Oh, not just in practice, like in the locker room. I'll tell you a story. One day I was at lunch, just trying to get my food spooned up. And he comes walking up behind me and he's like kind of looking at my food and he's going around. And I'm just thinking, gosh, can you just leave me alone? Like we're going to go out on the practice field here in a little bit and you're going to own me. Just let me eat my lunch, And then he looks at me all serious and he says, today at practice, I'm going to take your soul. And like he wasn't kidding. I believed him when he said that. I mean, and this is my teammate. Like we're supposed to, like we're got the same jerseys on, but that's how John was, man. Every single day, John just approached it like his life depended on it. And that's what made him such a great player.
Do you ever hear from him now? Like you're mowing your lawn and he's like, I'm coming for you.
only when I wake up in cold sweats, only about once a month.
Guys like John Randall, offensive linemen like yourself, there's that switch. You got to have that little bit of a crazy too. And for skill guys, got to have some swag too. Joe Burrow and his swag, having a quarterback like him for the Bengals, it seems like that entire franchise has embraced, hey, we're not losers. We're not the Bengals anymore. This is different because I'm the one leading you guys into the future.
Yeah, it's rare to see, a rookie come in. Generally you just want rookies to be seen and not heard, right? And he came in with, we're not quiet confidence. I don't think he wasn't, standing on a stool in the locker room telling everybody how great he was. But you ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer. And I think you're right. I think I don't know the ins and the outs of that organization, that team, but more than anybody, he kind of reset the whole mindset of that team. And I think you're a veteran player. You see a young guy like that come in, you're like, okay, sounds good. Let's see. But he's backed it up. And when a guy can do that and back it up, and when it's a young player, that just permeates the entire team and lifts everybody up, and I think energizes everybody and makes them feel better about themselves. And probably, there's nothing like having a quarterback that you believe in. Nothing energizes a team faster or an entire franchise. And we've seen a lot of number one picks over the years come and go, or some take a few years to kind of develop into what you were hoping they would be. But this guy, half a year is rookie year and then a full second season, and everybody's talking about Joe Burrow.
Matt Burke with us, and your resume speaks for itself. 6-time Pro Bowler, Walter Payton Man of the Year, got the Super Bowl with the Ravens, even though most of us remember you as a Viking, but you rocked purple like a champ. I picked the Rams before the season started, so of course I'm gonna ride until the wheels come off. But I was telling guys, I feel like the not regular Radio Row could actually be a major benefit for the Bengals, who haven't been through this situation before, when a lot of the Rams have just a couple years back. Is that something you can see?
You mean like having less distractions during the week?
Yeah, just kind of treat it like a normal game.
Yeah, listen, it definitely doesn't hurt, a team that's never been there before, the less kind of pomp and circumstance there is around the game. But I think a game like the Super Bowl, I think it really favors the more veteran team, just because it's like the bright lights in the big city, and nothing can prepare you for it. So I think young players are a little bit more apt to get caught up in that. You do have free time. You're there for a whole week. You can't be practicing football all the time, so you do have free time. And some young guys, they want to go out there and enjoy the moment and experience the Super Bowl. And what I remember telling our guys, hey, let's go. We'll come back next year and enjoy it. But this is, I was pretty sure it was going to be my last game. I was like, let's go take care of business and win the football game. Don't do anything stupid. Go to dinner with your family and come back to the hotel and just focus on the game, because I know guys that have played in the game. I know guys that have lost the game, and there's probably nothing worse than losing the Super Bowl. I think it sticks with guys for maybe the rest of their lives.
All right, Matt Burke with us. And Matt, I see, a lot of us, for me, the closest I'm gonna get to winning the Super Bowl is winning my squares. So I see you're tied to the search for square one, super squares. What is this, and how do I use it to hopefully get my Super Bowl victory?
Yeah, so last year it helped launch this app called Super Squares. It takes that old football squares game that we all have played for years, and it digitized it, so you can play squares against the entire country. And the old squares game is it's kind of a stupid dumb luck game. We made it a little more fun. We have a couple predictions that you make. You don't just get one set of numbers, but during the course of the game, you actually get 16 set of numbers. So it's dynamic, and you're always in it. And we did it last year, and we set a Guinness Book of World Record for most players in a squares game. So, but as we were running the game this year, we were like, where did this game come from? Like, everybody knows football squares. And you search the internet and you can't find anything on the history. I was expecting to find some story about a guy who owned a bar, and I was thinking like Western Pennsylvania for some. That was just kind of like in my mind. That's where I had. There's nothing about who invented this game, where it came from, how long it's been around. And so we're asking people, go to supersquares.com and share your football squares story. Like, when was the first time you played? Where did you hear about it? And I'm holding out hope that somebody has like a super old squares board. Maybe it's from Super Bowl I that, like their uncle Jimmy had, or something, to try to figure out the history. That, and then, this Sunday on Super Squares, which is a free app, everybody can download it and play. We have a jackpot or prize pool of over $2.1 million. It's all totally free. We're not trying to get anybody to gamble. We're not going to try to sell anybody a mortgage. It's all funded by our sponsors who appreciate the game, and I think what we're doing, sort of helping fans get into the game a little bit more.
All right, so free app Super Squares, download that today. Matt, I know guys kind of reference it. You look great. I've seen your weight loss journey. I'm hoping to start my own. I don't have the offensive lineman story behind me. I just really like buffets.
Hey, all you got to do to lose weight is just put on another 20 pounds and then start your diet. And you'll lose 20 real quick.
You know what? I don't hate it.
Yeah, go.
I'm back at the gym officially starting Friday, because everybody starts Monday. So if I start Friday, maybe I won't kill the weekend. Maybe today, tomorrow, and Thursday, it's time to get after it a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, you got to think differently, man.
Matt Burke, continued success, my friend, and look out, John Randall's outside your window.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. Bye. There he goes, Matt Burke. That was a good time, man. He's a good dude. He's a good
awesome,
dude,
man. We're talking about the big game. We're talking about all these great events going on. We've got some big news just in time for the Super Bowl. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is officially live right now in New York State with mobile sports. That means you can place a bet no matter where you are, like maybe right here in the Techie Studios, maybe on Western, Central, Glenville, Scotia, wherever.
Not if you're driving, though. Not if you're driving.
DraftKings Sportsbook can help you anywhere across the capital region, and DraftKings is making it even more exciting. Listen to this. DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer that you don't want to miss. Bet just $5 or more on the Super Bowl and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. Levack, there's those awesome prop bets out there. The first touchdown score, most receptions, most first downs, shortest touchdown. There's so many cool prop bets going on. I cannot wait.
And there's usually like bonuses to go with a lot of those too now. Like last night, I was getting after the Knicks a little bit. I thought I could win. I was close. I did get the over. That came out of that.
That's right. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up using code 518. Bet just $5 or more and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code 518 this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 and over and physically present in New York. Gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
877 HOPE NY. So that's the New York State Gambler Helpline. Okay, all right. That's I personally am not in need of it because I set a budget. I stick to my budget. But if you do need it, there's nothing wrong with it. Ask for a little help. Levack and Goz, Techies Tuesday, live from Techies Fire and Water Restoration, virtual radio row. Good guests today. We'll have good guests for you all week long in one facet or another. We're going to do Queens,
huh? We're playing a quick game of Queens.
I think I just stroked out. Q&A to end the day coming up. So get your questions in right now, whether it be at the Techies Fire and Water Restoration Facebook or Gozilla Media YouTube. Get your questions in, and we'll roll through those in a little bit. This isn't on the run, but I did want to bring up the Alvin Kamara situation. So Alvin Kamara, he's in the Pro Bowl. This is the way I've heard this story, and you tell me if you heard something different. Because there's a video out there that I haven't been able to track down myself, which maybe I'm not trying hard enough, whatever. But Alvin Kamara has been arrested and assault with serious bodily harm. Now, allegedly what happened is there's a guy waiting by the elevator to go up at the hotel. Alvin Kamara and his crew walk up. The elevator door opens, the guy goes to get in. Kamara apparently stiff arms the guy, nah, you ain't getting on the elevator with us. The guy swats the arm down. At this point, a mixture of Alvin Kamara and his friends, or the people with him, I don't know if they're friends, beat the living daylights out of this guy, fracture his orbital bone, all this stuff. Let the dude on a freaking elevator. Were you afraid he was going to fart? What are we doing here? Alvin Kamara could be in real trouble on this one.
The details of the story, was there alcohol involved? Was someone overserved? What was going? You know what I mean? That story on its base level, something's missing, right? Are your instincts going off okay, so why didn't he want in the elevator? Did he fart? Did he say something racial? Did he?
No, I think it's just hey, there's not enough room on this elevator. We don't know you. You ain't coming with us. I think that's what it was.
I don't know.
I think it's just a territorial thing.
I've read reports now that 5 years he could potentially be locked up for. This could be the end of his NFL career. All that stuff. This is such a basic statement. And we just got off conversation with Matt Burke that some things are so basic.
Right.
Everyone knows who you are and where you are in your career. Why this week? Why now? This stuff.
You're probably getting after it, having some fun.
Oh my God, but it's so not worth it for a guy like
right.
Kamara.
Oh no, let that guy take the elevator by himself. If you don't want to be on the elevator with him,
don't do it.
The one thing I'm kind of thinking of here, and it doesn't excuse it at all. I wonder if this is a little COVID fallout too. I don't know this guy. I don't know where he's been. I don't want him in an elevator with me. Again, there's a million different ways to handle this. I'm always looking for any kind of reasonable thing. If I'm not mistaken though, he can still pay this dude, right? He can drop a couple million in this guy's bank account, and this guy could drop the charges.
Yep, that can definitely happen.
How much is 5 years of your life worth to you? 2 years of your salary? You know what I mean? Where is it?
He eventually got that contract from the Saints, so he's got some money to pay him up if he wants. It's got to go away. But after last season, right? Derrick Henry got hurt. McCaffrey got hurt. Barkley wasn't. We can have a real conversation about who's the best running back in the NFL. We can really do that. Jonathan Taylor is great. Not taking anything away from Colts fans, but Kamara's got to be in the mix. Right now, if this report didn't happen and he didn't get in trouble, we could have had a conversation going into 2022. Who's the best running back in the NFL? Derrick Henry and Taylor, I know I just mentioned him, but banged up. Taylor had a great season. Kamara's right there, and the conversation is the best in his position. And it's hard to
if you don't know what you're doing at quarterback.
Yes.
If you're Dennis Allen, you're probably sitting there going, all right, I know my defense is sound. I'm more of a defensive guy. Offense, I know I've got, if I can get, Mike Thomas back healthy, that's good. Don't know about quarterback, but I got Alvin Kamara. What? I may not have him. Okay. All right.
Isn't that the most intriguing quarterback?
He might be in the long short 3. Okay.
Right.
All right. Good.
Jameis Winston tore up his knee. Feel for Winston.
Yep.
And now that Sean Payton left,
what do you do with Taysom Hill?
Right. Taysom Hill. Sorry, man. You got to leave. We don't know why it was so weird. Nobody knows why it was so weird.
Right.
Creepily the love of you and Sean Payton.
Is it wrong of me to I think there's one of two reasons why Sean Payton really hung it up. And because I don't think it's football related. I just can't see it. I think one is, you let Kevin James be me in a movie? Kevin James was me in a movie, huh? Okay, I'm done. You guys are idiots. I'm out. I'm going to go play me in movies for a little while and show you what I should look like. Or just one day, just like something out of Lord of the Rings. Somebody snapped a spell over him, and he's like, oh my God, what happened? You locked Taysom Hill down as your quarterback for years to come. And he went, what the? I'm out.
It's the whole thing is so bizarre. Have you ever heard other teams say, we got to get Taysom Hill? I've never even heard any single NFL reporter say, if he doesn't go to the Saints, he might go to. Never. Like, never.
I would love the idea of having a Taysom Hill on a team, right? Because what is Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill is Tim Tebow without an ego, or less of an ego.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to be a quarterback. Okay, I'll let you play some quarterback, but you're also going to play tight end, H-back. You're going to play special teams. Basically, anytime you see 10 people on the field, you're the 11th. Stand where they're missing. You might play center. You might play long snapper. And like, to have a guy who can do all that and play passable NFL quarterback is awesome. To have a guy who plays passable NFL quarterback be my NFL quarterback, not thrilled with that. I could probably think of some better things to do with my time than just deal with that whole thing. Levack and Goz live. It's a Techies Tuesday. We're gonna do Q&A to end the day. I saved one of your things for that just in case.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's coming up next. But first, want to tell you about my good friend Cindy Martin. As you can see, we've built a little background here. Cindy just goes, "Hey, look, my Howard Hanna sign. Love that." Well, yeah, it is, because Cindy is a proud sponsor of Levack and Goz, especially me. She's more proud to sponsor me than you.
True, Cindy?
It's more me than you. I'm closer to selling my house than you are. That's why. No, but we love Cindy. She is. This is how we meet Cindy, right? We're hosting the radio show before the Sienna Pink game. Cindy has brought her to us as a cancer survivor. And I almost feel like, I don't feel like Cindy's a cancer survivor. I feel like she legitimately like is somebody who kicked cancer's ass. Like, that's who she is. She doesn't go into any battle, any negotiation with a thought of loss. And that's the person you want buying your home, selling your home. That's the person you want. You want Cindy Martin. She is there for you. She's going to make sure your needs are taken care of. She doesn't have clients. She has her people. Like, they're my people. That's what she says to me all the time. Like, Jeff, one of my people, had a flood in their basement. Can you hook me up with the best person at Tech East? 100%. All that stuff. Like, that's who she is. And that's why we love the idea of working with her. She works locally, globally. She works with the best insurance people, the inspection people, lawyers, attorneys, all that stuff for you. So everything's taken care of. If you're considering selling your home, if you're considering buying a home, first thing you got to do is call 518-932-5558. 518-932-5558. That's Cindy's cell phone. It's Cynthia Martin at howardhanna.com. She's part of the Jen Karam team at Howard Hanna Realtors. And this time of year, if somebody's out walking through the slush, the muck, and all that stuff, they're serious about buying a home. So maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to wait a week or two. I'm going to wait a this or two. Get yourself in touch with Cindy right now. Ask the question, "Hey, Cindy, should I wait a month? Hey, Cindy, I got to do this or do this." She'll give you real answers. She's not the kind of person to shine you on. She's going to tell you the truth. She said, "I do kick ass." You're right. She's when I do eventually sell my house, which I'm that guy who every time I start fixing my house up to sell it, I fall in love with it all over again. There's nobody I'm calling before Cindy. 518-932-5558. Cynthia Martin at Howard Hanna Realty. That's my realtor. That's who should be your realtor. You'll see her at all the Empire games. You'll see her at all the. I mean, listen, if they're playing sports in the Cap region, she's selling houses and watching a game. She's able to split her eyes. It's amazing. Cindy Martin. She's a friend, and she's 100% my realtor.
Q&A to end the day.
All right,
I've got one here.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let me go first. Quick. Fred, who I don't know how. Whatever, Fred. I think you figured this out. Fred wants to know: have you guys watched Marshawn Lynch on the Netflix show Murderville yet?
No, I haven't. I
watched the first episode with Conan. It's hilarious. I can't wait now. It's basically, if you don't know the premise of the show here on Netflix, it is Will Arnett is a detective, and they have celebrities join the show, but they don't give him a script. The entire show is improv.
So he's like a guest on that week's show?
Yes.
That's, what?
Script.
I feel like that's when you've got to like commit yourself to 3 episodes. Because if the wrong guest is on, it's going to be crap. But like if the right guest is on, that's going to be money. I imagine Marshawn Lynch was hysterical on
it. I cannot wait to watch it. We have not watched it, Fred. I watched the Conan one. I'm a huge Conan fan.
Conan would be good too.
He leads off. It's going to be hard to beat that episode out of the gate with Conan.
All right. Earlier I said Kyler Murray connection, Texas A&M. Riley Rossi. He barely played at A&M, but I concede. Guys, as somebody who played college football, let me ask you a question. Q&A to end the day.
Okay.
Who are you closer to? Somebody you played 2 to 3 years with, or the person who ran your recruiting trip when you were getting recruited?
Ooh.
Who is it? I mean, be honest. Like, is it,
I would say the person I played 2 to 3 years with. Yes.
But if the guy who ran your recruiting, do you remember who it was?
Oh, of course.
What was his name?
Kyle Laughlin.
If Kyle Laughlin called you tomorrow and said, "Dude, come work with me,"
yeah, that's actually pretty. Yeah.
I don't know that Mike Evans ran his trip, but Mike Evans was getting drafted the year that Kyler Murray was coming in to A&M. Yeah. And then he left. Can you imagine Mike Evans going, "Kyler, you want to be here for this? You want to be here for this? You want to be here for this?" Kyler Murray gets there. He's like, "Yeah." Wait, Mike's out? Crap. And now Mike calls him up and goes, "Hey, bro, we can finally play together right here in Tampa." See, Riley, that's where I'm at.
The Murray thing, too, like to add to that, it's not much different than Justin Fields. Murray was the #1 quarterback recruit in the country. He's arguably the greatest Texas high school football quarterback ever, which is crazy to say out loud. And he said, I should play wherever I go for the first year. And A&M didn't play him. Then he went to Oklahoma and you got to play.
The rest is history.
There you go.
Heisman, first overall pick for the A's.
And 64 inches tall.
and not able to ride roller coasters. There it is. You have another one, or you want me to keep going?
That was the one I had. That was the one I wanted.
All right, this one, you know this guy, TTL man. What are your predictions for the winners of the Berlin Film Fest? It begins Thursday. I'm a big fan of Police Officer number 2, in various things. He was very good, taller guy, gives off strong cop vibes. How many movies did your father? Because that's your dad, obviously.
Yes, my dad wants to promote his new film that is going to be premiering at the Berlin Film Festival, starring This Is Us's Chrissy Metz. He is in that film.
What is the film?
I was going to Google it right now. I forgot if I think they changed the name of the title. I forgot the name of the title.
Here's my question for today.
Usually happens post-production.
Hey, TG2, CrossFit Kringle. Could you message us what the name of the movie is? Because your son doesn't know what kind of car you drive nor what movies you're in. I feel like and it's easy for me to say this. My father passed away a long time ago. I feel like if he was in a movie, I'd know what the movie was.
Well, you would think that, Levack, right? But this is what I deal with on the daily basis with him. This is what he sent me today. He just sends me now his tryout photos. He's
you should be thrilled. What hat is he wearing?
He's a carny in this photo.
He's a carny? He looks like a carny.
He's juggling 5 movies at once. He's now the Nicolas Cage of films.
Why am I not in that? All right, Tom Gross. Who's the next big signing for the Albany Empire? You, Tom. Tom, you're in?
Oh,
Tom, we signed 50 freaking people. You want another one? We brought back Darius. Mike Faithful is going to be a monster. We have so many great players. As of this exact moment in time, I don't think you're going to see a lot more big names come in because we've got so many guys. I don't know that for sure, though. Coach Manas is the guy who signs the talent, and just a big fan of the work that he does. We did bring in Cornelius Lewis. He's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman. He's 6'6", 320 pounds.
Ooh.
He has played tight end. We could have a new version of Mo Ruffins, who Mo told me that he will not play for less than $60,000 a game. So he's kind of priced himself out of the Empire. So that's all right. Wait, here we go. The name of the movie that your father is in is Stay Awake.
Stay Awake.
He plays a recovering drug addict.
I knew what his role was.
You gotta stay awake. You gotta know. Listen, I'm sorry. Bad son. Bad son.
Not only do I know what his role was Drug Addict 2. He's in the aerial shot.
Recovering drug addict, please.
How dare I, please. North, he's sitting next to Chrissy Metz on the shot. And I know all about the filming location. He has a long descriptive story about Chrissy Metz getting upstairs. I did not catch the title, but it is at the Berlin Film Festival.
Stay Awake is the name of it.
Look for my dad out there.
There are rumors that I'm starting right now that she was a little taken by him. And that she was, that recovering drug addict 2 had to say, I'm sorry, I'm married. No, thank you. I think that's how that's the rumor I've heard.
I'd like to point out the Oscar nominations came out today. My dad was not nominated.
Which is sheer snubbery.
Mm-hmm.
It's sheer snubbery. I mean, it's fairly obvious. Corey from Greenwich. I thought it was pretty funny. The Diggs brothers were going at it at the Pro Bowl. I also saw an article. Stephon Diggs was recruiting at the Pro Bowl to free agents. It's not a question. Everybody does that. They're 100%. I 100%. If Max Crosby and AJ Cole and Hunter Renfrow for the Raiders and Denzel Perriman, a lot of Raiders in the Pro Bowl this year. They didn't know Derek Carr though.
Was in Vegas.
You had to get Mac Jones in there and watch him do the gritty. It was a joke, a game. Terrible. Worst Pro Bowl I've ever seen in my life. If they weren't recruiting, they're not doing their job. If they're not recruiting, I take money away from their checks. That's what I do if I'm the Raiders.
Corey,
I find them.
You're the best that you watch the Pro Bowl. They actually try to do the skills competition. Why doesn't the NFL hype them up more? You and I've had this conversation for years.
I forgot it was on. I missed it.
No,
I watched it on YouTube.
Here's a fun
in pieces, and I watched it out of order, so I knew who won before I watched. I was pissed.
Here's a fun question: who does a worse job promoting their individual sports? The NFL's Pro Bowl competitions, or just the Winter Olympics in general? Like, I feel like
that's a good one.
The Winter Olympics are on television, but they're not promoting like, "Hey, tonight you got to tune in because so and so." It's on tape. Like, you can tell us who we should watch and why. Like, that Chen guy, I guess, is like the greatest skater ever. Nobody knows who he is.
The problem, okay, I'm going to say that the less effort is the NFL. The worst job is the Winter Olympics. The less effort is the NFL because they don't care. They're the NFL. People are going to come watch anyway. The Winter Olympics, complete screw job. They suck at this. Like, they should be doing a way better job at promoting themselves. Just a known thing. Tommy G back in the house. What do I think of the hiring of Josh McDaniels for the Raiders? I like it because you brought in Ziegler too. I think when you bring in guys that have a working relationship, it's just one more checked box. Is he going to be good? I have no idea. I hope so. But I like I like the way the Giants did it, Shane and Dable, and I like the way the Raiders did it, McDaniels and Ziegler. I like those two things.
I like it.
One more question from let me see who's this. Goz sitting next to me. Do I believe James Harden will be traded? No, I don't. I don't think he will. I think the Knicks will make a bigger trade than the Nets will this year.
Ooh.
Which would be nice to see the Knicks do something.
Last I checked, James Harden is not playing tonight for the Nets. They're sitting him out on purpose. I immediately bet on the Nets 8.5 point underdogs tonight because I feel like everyone's going to bet the opposite way, and I can't stand.
I'll wait till tip and see how big it gets. Wait a minute, that sounds
smart.
Really bad.
But the Philadelphia thing, yeah, let's make it happen. Put him in Philly. And also one other thing. Everyone talks about Daryl Morey making the decisions in Philly. He's not the GM. Elton Brand is the GM. I feel so bad for Elton Brand. Number one pick, people probably forget. Like 18 years in the NBA, forget. GM of the team. This is my moment. I'm going to get all the glory. Daryl, this dork, this loser, he's getting the credit. I feel for Elton Brand, man. Before we talk about Thursday's show, Levack, I got a list of guests in front of me.
Are we coming back on at all between now and then? Wednesday. I
did not plan on us coming back.
All right, good, because I have oral surgery. Shit.
Thursday, we'll be back in Mohawk. Kind of before we tell you about the great guests that are going to join us, got to tell you about our friends at Johnstone Supply in Troy.
I like them.
Our pal Tom. We've talked about him before.
Once the Titans got eliminated, I like Tom.
Maybe hours away from welcoming a baby girl to the world. He might be watching this right now,
luck,
maybe
man.
Potentially. Shout out to him and his wife, Jamie. So there you go.
Does he have a daughter already? Or
boy. Boy.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, brother. Look out.
If you like people, if you like babies, then you will go to Johnstone Supply in Troy and support these wonderful people.
Yes.
Competitive prices on your winter projects. They're in store on 6th Avenue in Troy.
I need more motivation, guys.
How about 2% off a furnace? The John Goodman furnaces, 2% off if you say Levack and Goz, Goz of the Media, whatever it is. Say John Goodman furnace, 2% off, especially here in the winter. How important that is.
Dude, and believe it or not, like people hear 2% are like whatever. That's a good number on a furnace. Furnaces, I mean, depending upon what you're looking for, it could be a sizable sum. It could, it could maybe help offset whatever you're losing right now, by running a crappy furnace.
Right after you're listening and getting done with this, check your basement, make sure it's all good to go. And if it's not, call this number, 518-272-5922. You'd pause it right now, this episode, and be like, all right, furnace, check on it. Call these guys just to make sure. Johnstone Supply in Troy, 518-272-5922. Check them out on Facebook as well. I've got 8 questions.
Also, just so you know, when you get Tom on the phone, if you say Titans suck, he adds 2% to the bill.
Right back on?
He does. Yeah. So if you want to pay just the right price for an amazing furnace, just go, hey, Levack and Goz sent me to get the John Goodman furnace and the Titans suck, and it'll be right back to the regular price. And you'll get a phenomenal furnace with great service and great people, but you'll know that you made my heart smile a little bit in the process.
The entourage fan of me calls it the Johnny Drama way of negotiating, just putting a higher number. Coming up on Thursday's show, we've got Tom Hannafin. You might know him as Tom Phillips from the WWE formerly.
Ooh.
He'll be joining us. Former Cincinnati Bengals Solomon Wilcots is going to be joining us. Our pal,
SWAT team.
Yeah, Lofa Tatupu. It's been too long for Lofa. And then Darren Ravel. You're going to get some social media likes when Ravel is joining us. Action Network, all the betting tips you need. Great guests lined up for us virtually coming up on Thursday from Mohawk Honda.
The only one we're missing, I want Kyle Turley. I want him on the show because for years I've interviewed him at Radio Row. Some with you sitting next to me, some with you not. And for years he's had to sit there and go, yeah, cannabis, hemp, and whatever. For the first time ever, he can go, dude, let's smoke some pot. You know what I mean? Like he can say, F opioids, let's smoke pot. Like last time we talked to him, we got close to it.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's decriminalized in a lot of places. Like I want Kyle Turley just unabashed just to go, dude, all these years, yeah, hemp is really useful. It's all useful. But you just got to smoke some pot. And I'm not a pot smoker by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to hear the Viking himself, the madman himself, who's been so subdued and calm, go, I'm calm because I smoke pot, and just get into it.
Well, for our YouTube audience and our podcast audience, 2 different spots to find it. If you're watching on YouTube, go to our playlist because Kyle Turley is scheduled because of the day to join Trev and Rigney on Wednesday.
What?
Amon Green is scheduled to join Football in the Know
What?
with Don Kirkland. So a few other guests will be here on.
You gave the one guy I want to Trav and Rigney?
You just said you had the mouth thing going on tomorrow.
I do. We went through
Is that
your
Turley?
No, we went through your other video. Your other video.
Join
We
us in
went.
trivia.
We went too long. Really, Trav and Rigney. I hope he's got extra weed because he's gonna need it to get through that interview.
You know what I want? I want you to jump in the middle of the interview. I can give you the link. Trav, Rigney, Turley, and then
I'll
you
sit
just
behind
pop
him,
up.
just smoking up. It's whatever, guys. Eating gummies.
Stuff coming out of your mouth from your surgery. Kyle,
Yeah.
can you hear me? I need some cannabis.
Yeah, dude. What's your recommendation for a beginner? You know, saying now that listen, I don't. You know, I'm not a big lawbreaker when it comes to that kind of crap, but you know, whatever. I'm good enough for Kyle Turley. What's up? How you doing? All right. I think that's it. I don't know if there's much more to do.
It's the longest show we've ever done here from Tech East. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, longer's not always better. You know, I think this show would have been a really solid hour. Joe Mantegna looked awesome. My man is sporting, the nice white. He's got that working. That dude's for real. Fat Tony in the house. Did you see his face when I brought up Hannah Mantegna?
Yes, that was the opener.
He was like, "Why do you know that?" Because these are the things that I keep.
I thought he turned to Ivan and says, "Who are these two?"
No, because he
Said
did
he
a short. He
liked
did a short film for like Hannah Montana. It was Hannah Montana, where he was like it was her. He was the character, but it was him. All right, listen. I'm trying to give advice all the time. Listen, if you can be great at one thing, be great at one thing. If you can't, do podcasts. Apparently, anybody can do it.